Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PaperRenee.com. Today I'm going to be making three kind of small cards. They're going to be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square cards. And I'm going to use this deep blue basil cardstock as the base. And so I just cut a strip that is 6 1/2 inches wide. And I'm just going to cut each, I'm going to cut 3 strips that are 3 1/4. Okay, I have my 3 blue card bases. I'm going to be making little cards for my daughter who is currently in the school play and has been rehearsing a lot of nights and is just a little tired and overwhelmed. And so I want to make her some little cards that I want to like leave in her bathroom one day, or maybe leave on her pillow for whenever she gets home at night, just so that she knows that I'm thinking about her. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this stamp collection from October Afternoon, and it's called Farm Fresh. And it's a really cute paper collection. I'm going to use the papers from this too. And I'm going to stamp the cow and the sheep and the pig. I used StazOn ink to stamp these off, and I did the sheep and pig in white and the cow in this cream colored cardstock. And I'm using StazOn ink because I am going to use my blender pen here, and I'm going to color the images in. Let me show you how to do that. All you need is a clear block, and you can use any kind of ink for this. I'm going to use some of this Powder Puff inks. I'm going to use some of this Color Box chalk ink. You can use Stampin' Up ink, any kind of ink you want. And the reason why you use StazOn to do your main image is so that when it gets wet it will not come off. So for my little cow, I'm going to use some of this brown. I'm just going to put some of this on here like that, and I'm going to I'm going to use some of this pink for the cow's udder. Now those of you out there who are very artistic and like to color the whole thing in, more power to you. I like just doing just a hint of color, because if I get too carried away it doesn't look very neat to me. So here's my blender pen. It's a wet pen, and it kind of makes ink look like watercolors. And to clean it, you just rub it on your paper like that, and it will take off any of the other ink. I'm just going to put some of this brown on here, and I'm just going to start to color in parts of it. I'm just going to do the spots. Alright, I'm going to clean the brown off, and you just rub it on your paper like that. And I'm going to cut this off, or I would be doing this on a piece of scratch paper. And I'm going to use some pink, and I'm going to color in the udders. Now I'm going to move on to the pig. Clean off my blender pen here. And I'm going to use one of these little, what is this called? A sponge dauber for stenciling. And I'm going to use it because I want to cover a bigger area of the little pig. And actually I want to cover the whole thing. And so I'm going to use this to kind of daub on the ink. Now I'm not worried about getting on the outside of this because I'm going to cut this pig completely out. So it really doesn't matter that it is not, I'm getting it over the lines. Now I'm going to use a darker pink, one of these Color Box chalks, and this is raspberry. Oops. I'm going to use a little bit of that and just do the snout in a darker pink. Okay, there's the little pig. And now I'm going to do the sheep. And the sheep is going to be really simple because anytime you have something that's white, it's kind of nice to add a little bit of blue to it to make it kind of stand out and be more realistic looking. So I'm going to use a little bit of this blue. This is Surf from Color Box chalk, and really delicately, I don't really want it to be too strong, just put a little bit around, and I'm going to kind of make it look like curly hair. Take my really sharp scissors, and I'm going to cut the animals out. Okay. Alright, there's my 3 little animals colored up and ready to move on with the cards. Okay, I have my little animals, and I'm going to start with the cow. And this stamp set has sentiments that go with it, and I'm going to put "Cows It Going" on there. I'm probably going to write, well, not probably, I'm going to write something on the inside for her, just to, you know, your mom loves you, or probably a scripture or something to make her, you know, just to kind of lift up her day a little bit. So we're going to put the cow here, put "Cows It Going" up here. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use Versamark so that I can do embossing powder with this. I want the letters to be white, and sometimes when it's really dark, the best way to get white letters is just to use embossing powder. I have white stays on ink, which for some things works great, but for this, it needs to be embossing powder. Plus, we know how I love embossing powder. I'm going to use some of this baker's twine, which is really pretty. I'm just going to cut some off. I was fortunate enough to get in on a share, which is whenever somebody will buy a lot of something and then share it, like ATG gun tape or this twine share. And it makes it nice because that way everybody can have a little bit. You can pay a little bit instead of having the big expense of buying it, the whole thing yourself. Okay, I decided to wrap it around 3 times, mainly because I cut way too much off and I hate to waste it. And then I just tied it in a simple double knot. Oops. Okay, I'm going to put the little cow there, and I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to put him on. Okay, there's my first card. I'm going to, I forgot to hit the button to turn it on, so I have a piece of leftover pattern paper that I attached right here, and I'm going to emboss "I Love You," EWE, again from the same stamp set, on my card. I'll be right back. And for this card, I'm also going to put the little sheep on with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, just like that. Alright, there's the second little card done. Okay, and then for the last little card is going to be the little pig, and its sentiment says "Hogs and Kisses." And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a white gel pen, and I'm just going to draw some lines around the outer edge, just kind of freehand. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to stamp the sentiment on there. I'm going to stamp it in a row all the way up. Oops. Can't have too many hogs and kisses, can you? Okay. And I'm also going to use a dimensional on the little pig as well and put it right like that. Alright, here are my 3 little cards all done. Y'all have a great week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.